Welcome. We're glad you're here. This is Chet Sears along with Matt, Amos, and Troy Trussell in the Trussell Media Studios located in downtown Wichita, Kansas at Main and Douglas, right in the middle of everything.
That's right.
We're glad you're with us today. Thank you for listening. We've got what's on Troy's mind for our first segment. After that, we'll cover our top 3 cold weather tips. I have an idea that Matt is going to suggest that everybody buy certain clothing that's $500 or $600 per article.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
I bet
and then
you're
Matt's
right.
going to close us out with a good word that he'll probably figure out on the fly while we're recording this episode.
You know me so well.
Troy, what's on your mind?
All right. Well, a few things. Since it's December and it's Christmas time is in the air.
10 days. T-minus 10 days.
10 days away till we celebrate Jesus, his birth. Yeah.
Is that the reason for this whole holiday?
Season.
It is the reason for the season.
Oh.
But you know what?
You know, that's pretty awesome. Go ahead.
I think it is. What do you think would happen if Christians just didn't celebrate Christmas?
Is this what's on your mind?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay. What would happen if Christians didn't celebrate? What do you mean by celebrate Christmas? Like buy Christmas presents?
Like celebrate the Cajun pagan tradition of Christmas.
Okay.
They didn't celebrate the whole season, right? They didn't put up a tree. They didn't put lights on their house. They didn't buy their kids gifts.
Oh, well.
They didn't,
Yeah, if it was just a normal December day?
Yeah.
What I don't know what it would be. It'd probably be like a normal mid-December day.
Are you talking about like Jesus was never born? Is that what you're saying?
No. I mean, if
I'm confused.
believing Christians decided to not celebrate Christmas like all churches do, like all that stuff. If they were just like, hey,
The only thing we're going to do is celebrate the birth of Jesus, but we're not going to participate in any of the rest of
any of the pagan tradition holiday stuff. Yeah.
So no lights on the houses. Too late.
No Christmas trees, no presents.
Too late. I don't know. It'd just be normal. I don't think it would be special.
I don't know. Just a thought I had.
Well, I mean, if you're not celebrating anything, there's no special anything. Now, I understand taking presents and all that stuff overboard, but like our motivation behind all that is not secular. Like a lot of people's are.
I know the motivation is not.
Yeah.
But I think, you can get wrapped up in the holiday traditions and completely forget about Jesus and his birth and why he came.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a thought. I mean, because I've heard my kids ask me since, before Thanksgiving, oh, hey, I want this on my Christmas list. Oh, hey, I want this. Like the other day I was baking a ham and I was like,
here's what I would say. Are you Jesus? I didn't know I was supposed to be bringing you gifts.
Yeah.
boom.
Lawyered.
I think it was your daughter.
Watch out.
When Uncle Bob was in.
Based on previous podcasts, you're recording Troy. The government's recording Troy without his knowledge.
Yeah. Well, we're also going to put this out on YouTube.
Yeah. But my daughter did what?
I was talking to Uncle Bob and mentioned something about, did you know about this?
The hoverboard?
No.
No. Go
It's
ahead.
like, I kind of heard that you may not be coming to Christmas this year.
Oh, she's been, yeah.
And he's like, well, that's a possibility. I may not be coming to Christmas this year. How are you going to get your presents to me? Not like, oh, I'm going to miss you.
I'm going to miss you.
No, it's like, so how are you going to get me the presents? Like, if you're not here.
So note to the child,
Wow.
how are you going to get your presents
To him.
Right.
from me to you?
Right. Yeah.
That cracked him up. He laughed pretty hard at that.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, she's shed many a tear over him selling his house.
No, because the pool.
Oh, I'm sure it's all selfish motivation.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway. No, so what's been on my mind lately is just, have you ever heard of the Enneagram test?
Just today.
The personality test. Just today.
No, I've heard about it.
Well, a few years ago.
I took the assessment.
Did you take it today?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. I know Matt didn't.
Bet me.
Oh, yeah.
I'd already done some of these for different things. So.
Okay, good. So you have your number?
Yep.
Excellent.
You get a number?
Yep.
What'd you get? You didn't get a number?
I thought it was the thing. I'll look it up. Hold on. I got to send this text.
So the Enneagram personality test, they rate you by number. You're either a 1 all the way up to a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's kind of the category that you're put in. What it does is it tells you a lot about yourself so you can understand who you are.
Why are you
the
way that you are?
Exactly. And I used to not believe in this kind of stuff until I worked at National Screening Bureau, and we did a lot of this stuff.
What do you mean believe in it?
I didn't believe in this stuff. I was like, man, they can't tell me who I am. And and it fits my personality perfectly.
You told them who you were.
No, but I mean, well, I see where you're going.
Yeah, you did. They didn't tell you anything. You told them everything. You're believing in yourself.
If you answered honestly.
Yeah. It puts the answers that you gave them into better understanding for yourself.
So you say.
Yes. So I took the test like 3 years ago and was pretty blown away with kind of what it was telling me. Now it's not 100% accurate. I don't, I don't conform to all of these labels of what it tells me, but it's pretty cool to see that a lot of it matches up. So
yeah,
I'm really excited to hear that y'all have your numbers.
What's your number?
Let me go through the numbers. Can I go through the numbers?
Are you going to try to pick my number? You probably already do.
You know what? You should, since you brought this up, you should tell us what you think our numbers are, and then I'll tell you what we actually got.
Oh,
or what I got anyway.
And then we'll get into some other things about this. I have something to say.
I bet you always have something to say.
That's why we have a podcast.
There's a number.
We have stuff to say.
There's a number for that.
There's a number for that. Oh, that is so number 1.
That's a number 5 move. Totally.
Totally number 5.
All right. So the number 1.
Hey, that looks like a pentagram.
I got the Ouija board out for next recording.
Similarities.
All right. So number 1 is perfectionist, oriented to be rightful. Okay.
Rightful?
Rightful.
Is that a word?
The principal, serious, self-controlled, perfectionist, and critical type.
Okay.
That's number 1. Number 2 is the giver, oriented to be connected. The loving, interpersonal, generous, demonstrative, possessive, and intrusive type. Empathy and availability. It's not you. That's not you, Matt.
No, matter of fact, that was one of the absolute smallest triangles I got.
Oh, let me look. I got it.
Yeah, so it's the same on mine, which is, I don't know if that's good or bad. All right, number 3, achiever. They want to stand out. They're the charmer, pragmatic, adaptable, outstanding, image conscious, and arrogant type.
Oh.
Number 4 is the personalist, oriented to be oneself, the introspective, self-revealing, unique, temperamental.
What number are we on?
Self-indulgent.
That was 4.
What was 3?
3 was the achiever.
Okay.
That's hung up on how they look.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Number 5 is
That's the Marine recruiters stand right outside the. Ooh, you scored 3? Come on, sign some papers.
Yeah. Number 5 is the observer, oriented to maintain distance. The speculative, analytical, innovative, secretive, and detached type.
Curious.
Original thought.
Interesting.
Kind of sounds like Matt a little bit. Let's see. Number 6, loyalist, oriented to commitment. The vigilant and committed, compliant, responsible, nervous, and suspicious type.
Nervous.
7, enthusiast, oriented to feel stimulated. The spontaneous, fun-loving, hyperactive, versatile, scattered, and excessive type. This is my wife, number 7. And on the Enneagram here. Pentagram, as Chet called it. 1s and 7s get along very well, and my wife and I have a very good relationship.
You're a 1? Let me guess. You're a 1.
Oh, I didn't tell you already. Yeah, I'm a 1.
Yeah.
I'm a 1.
What was 1 again?
Perfectionist.
Okay. And a 7 is a?
Enthusiast.
Okay.
Number 8, leader, oriented to lead. The assertive, dominant, self-confident, challenging, and pushing limits type. Self-assertive leadership. I bet y'all scored pretty high, both on 8, I would think.
Okay.
Number 9, peacemaker, harmony-oriented. The peaceful, receptive, reassuring, pleasant, positive, and negligent type.
Negligent?
That's what it says. Passive and negligent type.
That's weird.
Acceptance and openness. I don't think any of us are 9. I'm a number 1. I spilled the beans. I didn't mean to do that, but I did.
So
fits me pretty well.
The little diagram that it gave me here,
Yeah.
it leveled it out, and it made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those areas, with 1 being the greatest, and then they kind of, there's 3 of them that are equal.
Yeah. I have 3 that are equal.
Okay.
I have 3 that are equal twice.
Yeah, I do too. And then, so that's you?
Yeah, this is mine. So my 1 is really high.
You can't call yourself a 1 with everything else being just as great.
It's not. The 1's bigger.
Barely.
The 1 is 98%
Did you buy this?
on a body type. Yeah, I did.
I didn't buy mine.
Yeah, I didn't buy it.
Mine was free. And therefore probably wrong.
I did it off the link that you sent me, but I didn't buy the results.
No.
I just got my numbers because I expected you to be able to
click on links from strangers.
I don't either.
It's good. I'm not a stranger.
Did you? What'd you score?
So
wait, Troy, you guess. Since you're up to speed on all this stuff, Matt and I
would like
done
you,
it. Yeah,
I would like you to guess my first and then my second.
Okay. Yeah, go Troy. Matt's first and second.
Okay. I would say 5 and 8.
Close. 8 is my biggest.
8 and then 5?
8, 6, and then 5, 3, and 1 are all equal.
Okay. Chet.
What about me?
8.
I definitely think 8.
What is 8?
Leader.
Okay.
Assertive.
8 and 3.
I don't know what they all are broken down, but there was a couple in there that I thought fit you.
3 is achiever.
I would say 3.
What's 4 and 5?
4 is the personalist. Self-revealing, unique.
I would say personalist. You're pretty.
I don't like people.
And number 5 is observer.
Boom. I'm at 8 and 5.
8 and 5.
And then 3, 4, and 6 are tied.
So yeah, I'm 8, 6, and then 1, 3, and 5 are all equal. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, y'all's are close.
I'm much more prominently a 9 than I am a 1.
And I'm much more an 8.
I mean 8. Yeah. 8.
Yeah, so we took this test at surety.com. We'll put the link in the show notes if you want to go check out your Enneagram. But I paid for mine. There's other sites that you can find where you don't have to pay for it.
These are some questions that came with my test results.
Yeah, what'd you get?
That I would ask myself,
Oh.
apparently, according to this, why do people describe me as intimidating when I don't feel that way? Matt, do you ever think that when you stare at yourself in the mirror?
No.
Why is it that I'm able to achieve things that others think are impossible?
I think that's just the, because hold on. I feel, based on me being a 5 and being intuitive, I don't know if that's correct or not.
It's not.
No, that's
How
not.
can I be more aware of myself so I don't come on too strong and scare people away? Is that what your next question says?
That's my next question.
Amazing.
Amazing. How can you do what? What's the next one? How can I
Learn to be assertive
Yes.
without being aggressive.
I've never, well, I guess I have, no, I don't think I've asked myself that question.
But it gives me about a paragraph about my type, and that says, these are the qualities of natural leaders. Locked, get my full report. And I said, I'm not doing that.
No,
Yeah.
not doing that.
You can take your numbers, your first and second numbers, and Google them, and you'll get more results for free.
Well,
Because that's what Hannah did.
okay.
Yeah. It can tell you a lot about yourself. And so I think I mentioned it earlier in the podcast. I hired a business coach about 1.5 years ago and been working through a lot of stuff, and knowing who you are and how you function is a really good way to know how to function in business. So it's helped me a lot.
He didn't use any other assessments?
He used different assessment. I actually used the Enneagram assessment in a small group, in a Bible small group. We all did it to figure out how to connect with each other better in the room of this group that we were going through studies with. So I did this one way before, but we did SOIs in
What does that stand for?
the business.
School of Infantry.
I don't know what it
That
stands
will help
for.
you
Maybe it's
find out who you are.
It's a good way to make yourself an 8 if you're not. Because it will. It's funny because it would be interesting to let people take this test prior to joining the Marine Corps, and then after they've served for 10 years,
Yeah.
and see how it changed their personality.
Which, by the way, 3 years on an Enneagram is probably a shot. You probably need to take it again. You'll get
It's
a
probably
different
way
score.
outdated.
I took it again today.
Same is different score.
I got the same numbers.
No, to the same
Degrees.
degrees, or was there some shifting?
I'm sure there was a little
And
bit
did
of
you
shift.
answer it in a way like I'm already a 1, so I have to answer it this way, or I'd be going against who I am, which then in turn you're living a life that is lying to yourself.
Don't do that, Troy.
No, I answered it honestly.
You know, the last time this came up, because this came out like this was real popular like in 2019, right? 2018, 2019.
Yeah, 3 or 4 years ago.
Everything came out. Well, one of the things that I noticed in especially the Christian culture was, oh, well, you're just an 8, you'll never get it. Things like that. Like where they're using it against people.
Oh, no.
So you got to be careful with that.
Everyone always has a chance to change.
And then, well, no, you're getting boxed
Look,
into a hole.
You're not going to change the way God made me, okay?
But then
I was trying to be assertive without being aggressive. Did you see that?
That was good. I'm glad you're learning something.
I asked myself that question.
But it also gives some people just get the like. What's one of those? What's one that's they're hard to get along with people?
Ones are definitely the worst.
No, that's the people you don't want to be around.
Oh,
Ones.
mistake. Yeah. my
Yeah,
bad.
that's me. A 5, oriented to maintain distance. They don't want to be around people.
Yeah,
That was my third largest.
but like people use this to say, oh, because once you share your score, oh, he's a 5. We don't even need to invite him on this thing. Like they're using it against people. So I did a little bit because
That's wrong.
this is also referred to as the Christian horoscope.
I did not know that.
Did you know that? No, it's
No, but it makes sense. I get it.
yeah.
That's dumb.
Oh, he's a Scorpio.
Yeah.
That's why he's a complete jerk.
I'm a Cancer. That's why I'm a butthole. Like, it's okay. I'm justified in it because this is who I am.
That's
This is
who you
God
are.
made me
My
to
husband
be.
ran around on me. He's a Sagittarius.
So, anyway, do you know where the Enneagram theories were founded? Where they came from?
No, let's hear it.
Contemporary Enneagram theories are principally derived from the teachings of a Bolivian psycho-spiritual teacher, Oscar Ichazo, from the 1950s, and a Chilean psychiatrist named Claudio Naranjo from the 1970s. This has been around for a very, very long time, my friend.
Wow, I like it.
Additionally, and this is the truly strange part, Oscar Ichizo reports that the Enneagram itself was given to him by the Archangel Metatron.
Oh, yes.
For real.
Wow.
Yep. And so this person that wrote this article, I may find the source here in just a little bit. I just did some screenshots. So there's some real skepticism around the Enneagram. And the author, holds such skepticism for specific reasons. It introduces an unnecessary and obfuscating layer between you and me. It's always been the problem I have with every kind of personality inventory, even though the tool and the descriptions purport to help me understand myself and others better. I tend to think it does the opposite. Instead of me being me and you being you, I suddenly call you a 3 or a 5. And I list your strengths from the finder. And if we're going to use an ancient mystical tool, why not just use the one that's widely known, the horoscope? Lots of people are familiar with horoscopes. You don't have to teach them nearly as much as you'd have to teach them with the Enneagram or Myers-Briggs. In this sense, they're much less tied to a specific class or academic community or group. They're for everyone. And he's like, I'm not really a reader of horoscopes, but I think it's about the same thing. So there's that.
All right.
I found that interesting because I'm a pretty big proponent of the Myers-Briggs. It kind of did the same thing for me that Enneagram did for you.
Yep. And I've taken, I think it's called SOI, but I can't remember what they were all called.
Something inventory. I would stand for inventory.
Yeah.
In a personality test.
Yeah.
More than likely.
I've done that. We did some for National Screening Bureau. There was a company that we used. I can't remember what they were called, but they always put me in that perfectionist category. Yeah. I like to be right. What can I say?
That doesn't mean, if you think you're right, that doesn't mean you're a perfectionist.
Yeah, that makes you, I don't know, something else.
Oh, I know I'm not right all the time.
But a perfectionist is one that seeks to make sure that everything is absolutely perfect every time. So
that's something I've had to battle in.
He's like that, really.
My work.
Well, not in his work, even with his room as a kid. Well, his sister talks about it. He was a neat freak.
I was.
Yeah. See, I'm not. I wouldn't call myself a neat freak, but if I'm doing something, and it can change, right? So it's not necessarily that I'm a 1 on everything, but there are things that I have to be absolutely perfect on.
What did you score? Yeah, like targets, but not like a clean truck. Because I've been in your truck.
No, but when I clean my truck, that's why I don't do it enough, is because if I do it, it has to be perfect. So I just leave it because it's too much. It's overwhelming to try to keep up.
Yeah, and I can get overwhelmed with stuff too, like that.
Well, he spilled.
One. So yeah, I mean, 1 was my.
One was your number 2.
Yeah.
Look at you. No wonder you get along so well with Troy.
Best buds.
All right. You got anything else? Enneagram?
No, that's it.
Have some fun with it. Put your number in the comments of the show.
Even though it came from Satan.
It did.
According to Chet.
No, it came from Megatron.
It came from Metatron, not Megatron.
Oh, Metatron.
Metatron.
Who's an archangel, by the way?
Autobots.
I didn't realize that.
But he didn't develop the Enneagram test. It's derived from his teachings. So it's not like he developed the test. It's like the the categories of people. He basically like developed that. He didn't create the.
Yeah, he said there are 9 categories of people, and this is what they fit into. And then somebody said, "Oh, let's make it."
Yeah, let's make a test to see if you fit into any of those categories. So he didn't like come up with everything. But anyway, yeah, put your numbers in there, and I bet if you're a what you would be a number 5, you're probably not going to comment on any of our podcast episodes because you just want to keep to yourself.
I like it. I respect that.
Okay, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we will have the top
definitely
3.
not doing a commercial bake.
Top 3 cold weather tips.
Smoke them if you got them. Are you driving traffic to your website? Do you have an engaging homepage? Better yet, does your homepage have a video? We recently created a video for a client about his business and the services they provide. Since he placed the video on the homepage of their website, he has had a number of clients specifically say they decided to use his services because of that video. At Trussell Media, we help businesses create engaging videos to host on their websites, email to clients, and use in their social media marketing. Contact us if you're interested in creating a video for your homepage today. TrussellMedia.com. Fill out the form at TrussellMedia.com/contact. Let us help you tell your story through video.
All right, we're back. Cold weather tips. Top 3 cold weather tips. Matt, we're going to let you go first, and then me, and then Troy, and then you'll close us out with a good word.
Perfect.
All
I don't know what that good word is yet, but we're about to.
That's why I'm letting you go first, so you can think about it.
Time to figure it out.
And Troy and I will just have a conversation around our top 3s while you're not paying attention.
Thanks. I appreciate you looking out for me
like normal.
Number 3, cold weather tip.
Don't go out in the cold.
But you may not always have that option, right? You may eventually have to go out, or your heat goes out in the house, and how are you going to stay warm? Number 1. This isn't a tip on how to stay warm. This is just a tip on how to survive in the cold.
Okay.
Hydrate. Make sure you're still drinking water, because a lot of people do not drink water because it's cold, and they think that I don't feel thirsty, but they don't realize that their body actually uses more water to stay warm than it does to cool down. So,
wow. Okay. That's a good tip, man.
Stay hydrated. So if you notice in the winter that you tend to get more cramps and stuff like that, like I did it to myself the other day. I was at a football game, and really hadn't drank anything and wasn't really worried about it because I was like, my body wasn't telling me I really needed to drink anything. Then I stood up, and all of a sudden I had the worst cramp in my leg. And when you're in prosthetics, those cramps, it's bad. And so I ended up, I got up, and then immediately I got boom, right back down. I was like, I need to drink some water. So that's just a little tip that I learned while I was in the Marine Corps. Hydrate when it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to hydrate. Number 2, layers. So that when you go out in in your hunting, you don't want to wear like your heavy stuff. You don't want to put it all on inside and then walk outside, because you're going to start sweating before you even get outside. And then that sweat is going to make you really, really cold. So if you're going to a deer stand, or, you're going out to your car, you're going to go out for a walk, or you're stuck, wear the least amount of layers you can until you get cold. And then add another layer. And then when you can't take it anymore in that layer, add another one until eventually you've got all your layers. So that actually adds longevity to being cold, rather than I'm going to put it all on at once, and now I'm only going to last, I don't know, an hour, a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And now I'm all out of layers. Dude, I can't add anymore.
Big time with duck hunting, because not only do you typically I walk in like pretty far, so the hike in, you're carrying all your gear, and then you get out into the water setting up decoys. If you sweat, you're going to get cold pretty quick.
Yeah. So on your layers, you never want to have cotton in any of those layers, because cotton just retains that water.
Yeah. It
doesn't get that the moisture away from your skin. And that's typically why people get cold feet first, is because your feet
cotton
sweat.
Socks.
Your feet sweat.
Wool socks only.
Wool socks are the way to go. Anything that wicks that moisture away from your feet. But that's also why they get cold first, is because they perspire.
Yeah.
And then that just downs it. So layers, none of those layers being cotton.
Okay.
And then number 1, and this has been a lifesaver. It is a layer that I'm wearing, but it is a windproof or rainproof jacket on the outside. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like this huge parka. I mean, you can have a parka that's not totally 100% windproof or waterproof, but if you can use a rain jacket that's 100% waterproof, whether that's Gore-Tex or basically anything that's going to stop the wind that will not let anything through. So, you know, I'm trying to think of other materials that would do that. Like you were at a football game and I gave you a hard time about a trash bag, but that's a good windbreak because it's not letting any of that wind through. The wind's hitting it and it's stopping it. It's not going to cut through that fabric. And so it's a game changer to wear that rain jacket as an outer layer over anything when the temperature, when it's windy, raining, cold, whatever, and you can stop that wind with the rain jacket.
Yeah.
That's my number one.
All right. That's a good one. All really good tips. I think you did a good job, man, on the fly. Not bad.
Well, part of my personality was being prepared, and that was one of the questions that was, do you feel the need to be prepared? Do you
absolutely
need to be out in front of everything? And every one of those was yes, as far as like protection and all that kind of stuff. And so that I scored very highly on that.
So,
be prepared for a podcast?
Not
zero.
Not so much there. But you win us all over on your outstanding personality. Yeah. So, number 3 for me, having extra layers. Now, the one that I have a caveat here. I say have them in your truck. So I'm thinking just anytime in the wintertime.
Something breaks down, you got it.
Not even just breaking down. Like just whatever you're going through the course of your day. Maybe a cold front comes through in the middle of the day and you're out there in like a long sleeve shirt and then you're like, oh man, I should have had a jacket. Well, yeah, it's in my truck. It's right there with me. Gloves, hat, and an extra layer. And if you're traveling, like back and forth, you got a couple hour drive or whatever, going up to the deer camp or all that kind of stuff, throw a sleeping bag in your car. Because if something breaks down, whatever else, you're probably not going to be going anywhere. You just need to make it through, and you got a sleeping bag there. You're going to be able to make it. You'll be all right in a car in your sleeping bag, and it's in your vehicle. Like not that hard. Typically, with whatever survival kit you already have in your car in the wintertime, just add insulation to that, like a whole sleeping bag. So then, like dressing wise, like not just in your truck, layers. So, and kind of to Matt, make sure that you have something that if you get a little warm, you got a quarter zip on, unzip that quarter zip, or if you're wearing a jacket over that, do whatever.
Cool down.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's counterintuitive that you want to cool down when it's cold.
Yeah, especially if you're going to be active. And that's the nice thing about the layers. If you're going to, again, we're coming off of not too long ago, football season, you got to walk into the stadium. Well, you're going to have everything with you. So you may want to go ahead and take your jacket off. If you're about to walk a mile to get to the stadium, take your jacket off, unzip your quarter zip or whatever else, maybe roll up your sleeves. And then you do all that walking in there. That's fine. You're not going to sweat. You get there, settle down, sitting. After a little while, you start to get a little chilly, zip it up. After a little bit longer, put your jacket on. After a little bit longer, put your gloves on. You'll be fine. But that layers all the time. And number 1, cotton kills. Like cotton, anything cotton socks, cotton shirts, cotton whatever. If it gets wet, you're in trouble.
It's bad news.
Zaps your body heat right away from you.
Turn to ice.
I shift. I'm a big fan of wool socks and merino wool. And so this time of year, I'll start wearing just wool socks all the time. Because you never know, whatever.
What front's coming through.
Huge fan.
Or
Huge fan.
You change a tire. Yeah. Shut up, Matt. Footless. Wool socks are the best. My feet haven't gotten cold since 2011. Sucker. But anyway, so wool socks, it took me a little while to catch that, by the way.
I know.
Fleece, I'm a big fan of having extra fleece pullover, just with you in your truck, in your bag. If you carry a backpack with your laptop in it or whatever, this is the time of year to throw a quarter zip pullover in that backpack just in case you need it. Nylon, fleece, those are the Good fabrics. Polypropylene.
Gore-Tex.
Gore-Tex for the water or snow. Yep. All right. Troy, what you got?
I do have some honorable mentions on this one.
Okay. That you just thought of.
All right. So number 3, wind blocker coats. Y'all kind of covered that. For women, it's good to get a long one that'll cover your butt too. Because when we moved up here.
Do men not have butts?
But we don't complain about it.
Our butts? Or cold butt?
Our cold butt getting cold from the wind. So the first winter that hit here after we moved up here, Hannah's like, I got to get me a long coat because my butt's getting cold. Because we all went out and we just bought winter jackets that went down to your waist or whatever and didn't fully cover your butt.
Yeah.
Well, that first cold that hit her getting out of the car, that was rough. So get one that covers your butt, that blocks the wind. All right, number 2. When you move to a colder part of the country, buy new warmer clothes or new warm clothes because they make it differently. They make stuff differently for the South and sell it down there than they do in the Great Plains area.
Really?
Kinda. So if you just go to a store and you're not ordering this online, and you go to a store down south and they're selling their winter gear.
Oh, they don't stock the heavy stuff. That's what you're saying.
So it's going to be different than like even if I go to a store here, and then I was up in Montana and they just were a month or 2 ago, and 2 months now, and they were just starting to put out their cold weather stuff, and their cold weather stuff is way more serious than the cold weather stuff we have here.
Yeah.
And so I stocked up while I was there. I mean, even their normal shirts, are they're more flannel, they're a thicker material.
Yeah. Well, it's not that they make, I get what you're saying. They don't make the same coat model number and say, well, this one goes to the south and this one goes to the north.
The store just buys
They just
different.
have different cold weather stuff.
Right. And the further north you get.
The climate, they sell the apparel that's appropriate for the climate that they're selling it in. Yeah, I got you.
Right. So, because we moved up here from Louisiana, like y'all did, and we got here and that first winter freezing our butts off, right? So we go out and buy coats, and the coats here fit the weather, fit the climate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're moving from the south and you're moving up north, just buy heavier stuff.
And then you get acclimated to it to a certain extent.
Hey, number 1.
Whoa! Hold your horses.
Number 1 is body acclimation.
Oh!
When winter comes, don't get out the heavy coats when it starts getting 40-something degrees. Wear a light jacket. Get your body start to get
Acclimated.
acclimated.
Or acclimatized.
or acclimatized. Is that a word?
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to say accommodated, but yeah, let your body get used to the cold as it gets colder and colder. And so when freezing winter comes, it won't kill you as bad.
Yeah. Last year I didn't duck hunt that much, and it was brutal around February. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cold. That's just because I hadn't been out in it like I normally am.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, good list. See, I was going down there, and you had already been there.
I'd already been there.
You're like, hey, welcome to my idea. You could come on in. I already had this idea. All right, you got an honorable mention there, Matt?
I do. So, the where you want to kind of cover up the most, and it's just a heat retaining technique, is you lose most of your heat from where?
Your head.
And?
Your butt, apparently.
Maybe for women. I think that's more of a mental thing with them than anything else.
Cool breeze.
We shoot hot air out of there. Out of your butt.
Yeah.
So do women. I don't.
No, they don't.
Oh, well, they don't. It's sparkles and glitter and fairy dust. Maybe that's.
Oh, that's unicorns.
Oh, so
So sorry, what were you saying?
You lose your head, you lose your cold out of your head and your feet.
Right?
How would you know that?
Yeah.
And then, so you're basically your extremities, right? And the reason that you lose them at your extremities is because that's where the blood vessels run the closest to the skin. So, and
they're the farthest away from your heart.
yes. So one of the ways is if you're going to insulate your wrists to keep your hands warm, because they travel closer here than they actually do in your fingers.
Yeah.
So if you insulate your wrist, insulate your neck, and then your ankles, you actually stay warmer as well.
Okay.
And that's just a little
something,
trick of the
tip.
trick of the trade, because my feet don't get cold anymore, but my legs inside my socket, or they sweat and they're in a silicone liner, so there's nowhere for that sweat to go. And if I'm out there long enough, it will freeze, and then I'll end up with frostbite on my remaining limbs, and then probably I'm having to have another amputation, which
You don't want to do that.
I don't want to do. So I'm actually, we have thought about the design of making heated prosthetics, and so I've got a way to do that, which is going to be revolutionary.
A torch.
No.
Huh? Hey, I saw this thing a few weeks ago about, speaking of heated things, where
the guy
that went viral.
This
dude looked like he was rolling a joint on the sidelines of this basketball game.
Yeah, you sent that to me, I think.
Hey, come to find out, he just had a rib.
He was heating it up.
He had a lighter that he was heating that rib up with it. All you need is a lighter, man. Heat that prosthetic up.
That's hilarious. Hey, I had an honorable mention. So it kind of goes along with what you're saying, Chet. Have gear in your car.
Yeah.
And I wholeheartely agree with that. But it's also good to be aware of where you're going and what the temperature is going to be inside. Because for whatever reason, in this city, if it's 40, I'd say if it's below freezing outside,
Yeah.
it is going to be 89 degrees wherever you go. Church, store,
Really?
restaurant.
Your parents' house.
Well,
I remember my parents kept their house hot in the wintertime.
but just ridiculously hot.
Yeah.
Usually in most places you go. So just dress accordingly.
Yeah, have the layers. You can shed one.
Yeah.
All right. Matt doing some frivolous research on his. Forgot he had the good word.
I did. I got some under the cold weather stuff.
Yeah.
I got it. I've been thinking about it actually for
Just doing all
to
this
him.
research.
well, but I just wanted to find something that fit biblically for what I'm going to talk about.
Oh, okay. Fit the Bible into your beliefs instead of just, that's great.
No,
Great theology.
I'm
there,
looking
Matt.
at this from the word, but I just wanted to get the word.
You can say whatever you got to say, man.
All right.
Just go ahead.
Probably from Metatron.
Yes, Metatron. Over
No,
here.
definitely not Metatron.
This is from First Metatron, chapter 2.
Actually, this is from Matthew 5:10, and it said, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." And recently, Candace Cameron Burr is now her married last name, has been getting a lot of heat for saying that she is moving to a station that she feels will uphold the traditional family in her movies. So
I heard about this.
she's not going out and looking to do this all-inclusive LGBTQ holiday movie. She wants the traditional family in her holiday movies, and that's she's changing networks or stations. I forget what the whole story is in doing that, and she's been getting a lot of fire from all kinds of different groups, and not necessarily. And she's actually, her and Jodie Sweetin, who were on Full House together. I read that they had actually she had unfriended her on Instagram just based on a difference in beliefs, and so it's proven, it's biblical that we are going to be persecuted for being believers and for standing up for what we believe in. It's becoming ever more increasing wouldn't be the right frame of the right order of the words, I don't think, but
Yeah. Present, ever more present.
Ever more present. Thank you. Ever increasing.
Ever increasing presence.
Yes. Ever increasing presence in society. And so stand firm and persecution, I think, in this aspect is a good thing because it means you're doing what's right. Because it's been called that's what's going to happen when you stand up.
Yeah, and that's one of the harder things to do. And so kudos.
It's extremely, especially when you're a celebrity, you know, and you've got a ton of people and, you know, you've got all these contracts and you stand up for what you believe in. And it's happening more and more. And I noticed with, say what you guys want about soccer and it being the gayest sport on the planet. But
who said that?
I've never said that.
One of you two has said it.
I played soccer.
Yeah, I did too.
I like soccer.
Dude, I've talked to you about me playing soccer in first grade?
Maybe. I don't remember.
Huh? Our team sponsor, it's relevant.
Okay.
Was the local
the strip club or
the
whatever.
local hot dog store in Alexandria, Louisiana called Wiener King.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was like strip club, something like that.
Wonder why they're sponsored
Strip club was
boys soccer.
what was that?
Oh gosh.
The Bad News Bears. That was the baseball team that sponsored it. But yeah, so I mean, you know, because the whole thing in Qatar was they wanted the team captains to wear a rainbow armband. Well, you can't do that in Qatar.
Yeah.
And so here are
or in any Middle Eastern country.
Yeah. And so here
They'll throw you off a roof.
So
Yeah,
here are all the people.
We're talking about persecution.
Right. So they're saying, oh, you wear this and wear that. And it's like, you know, hey, that's their country. They can think how they want. And you can't force, you know, just let these guys go play soccer. And that was almost the sentiment of every of the big stars that has come up and said, hey, man, I'm just here to play soccer. I'm not here to
make a statement,
a political statement.
Other than with the wind, by me kicking this ball through the net, which apparently doesn't happen that much.
It doesn't happen that much. It did in one of those 3-3 in one of those games. That was a pretty darn exciting game. But, you know, so they're getting fire for it. And, you know, they're not doing it from a belief standpoint. And Neymar, who is a Brazilian player who was injured, I don't know if he's back. Because as we're recording this, we're coming up on the end of the tournament, so I don't know who's still there, who's not.
Yeah.
And but he's like, I'm not going to wear that because on our team we only love women. Like he came out and said that, you know, and so now he's taking fire for that, you know, and it's like, well, that's what I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to wear something that I don't believe, right? It's not me, you know. So. And it is tough. It is tough to stick up for what you believe in. But, you know, Ronaldo said the same thing. Neymar said the same thing. And here you got Candace Cameron Burr. It's hard to put her second last name on there just because it was Candace Cameron for so long. But, you know, and she's taking fire, but she's moving forward. And she says, I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm not here to lash out at anybody. This is just, it's traditional family because she's basing it on the Bible.
It has been for thousands of years.
Yeah. And so she's not changing her definition to fit society.
Yeah.
And she's not changing her values to fit society. In fact, she's going against it and saying, no, I'm going to hold to my moral values and convictions and go ahead and do this way.
And at the same time, she's not condemning anybody else. She's just saying this is what I believe.
She goes, you know, people who are saying this don't know me and how much I care about everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But this is my belief, even though I care. And that goes back to something I've said before is, you know, just because you don't agree with somebody on something doesn't mean you hate.
Right.
You know, I can disagree with you on the fact that you like Star Wars, but that doesn't mean I hate you because you like Star Wars. It's the same thing when it comes down to somebody talking about, oh, I'm gay. Well, I don't agree with that lifestyle. It doesn't mean I hate you. So anyway, persecution, good thing, means you're doing the right thing, at least in this case.
Yeah. And to that end, taking a stand on something and not asking everybody to get in line with you.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, okay, if you're going to persecute me, but I'm just taking a stand.
If you don't have the regular biblical term of a traditional nuclear family, then we're going to throw you off a bridge,
a building,
whatever.
Yeah, we don't want you to land in water.
It's too soft.
Right.
Definitely needs to be harder.
And love probably built that bridge. If you're the Judds, sing it, Troy.
Not a Jets fan.
know.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yes.
But you're not going to sing it?
No.
Okay. All right. Thanks you for that good word, Matt, that you were very talkative about based on your preparation. So glad you joined us today. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to persecute you.
That's fine. I'm doing the right thing.
Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate you and spending time with us. It means a lot to us. And we will talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.